Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen. Hello, hello, hello. This is Donna Reiners and
Dr. Kami Owen.
And we're so glad you're here. And Dr. Kami is going to take us, go where no man has ever taken you before. So, Dr. Kami, take it away.
So, today we're going to talk about looking in the mirror and how our life is actually a reflection back to us. We're constantly looking in a mirror when we look out at our world.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever met someone that just irritates the bejesus out of you? Just that person comes around, you're like, oh
Yes.
my Lord, look at them. They're coming and you're running the other way.
I see them in my mind right now.
Yes.
I had to work it out.
What I ask you to look at is the possibility that the very thing in them that you cannot stand is the thing in you cannot stand. Where in you do you have that trait? Where in you are you unable to really go deep and acknowledge that that's something in you that you don't like? You will see it in other people. The thing that you don't like about other people, look inward. Let's talk about that today, because that's a real thing.
That's powerful in marriages,
Yes.
in friendships, in work relationships with people that you work with, or maybe even a boss. I can give an example. My husband and I sometimes have just beautiful Christian disagreements. And when I walk away, this is what I see. Okay, for instance, Craig is wonderful at getting things done when he wants to be. And so he moves a little bit faster pace than I move. I'm going to get to it, but he gets to it. There's a difference, right? Part of that is because of his gift set. All day long, he's driving teams, getting things done. He's got 30 minutes to do it, and he keeps moving, and he gets things done. And so I had to learn to look at what I found irritating, which was, come on, Donna. I had to back away and go, okay, why is it that I feel like he's controlling me?
Mm.
Because that's how it comes across to someone who would not want to be controlled. And when I saw, you know what, it isn't that. When I stopped shifting blame, I saw, wait, it's because he's so good at it. He's good at getting things done. He's ready to go. He wants to get this finished now. He's driving me, and I don't want to be a project. So sometimes we get into it for that. But that's also, it's just my perspective. It's my reaction to, I'm being triggered by something, when actually the truth is I don't get things done as well as he does. So it's what is in him, which is a positive, I see in me as a negative. It's just a little different what you're saying, but it's the same thing. The polar opposites. Your greatest strength can be your greatest weakness. And it's irritating to see someone else be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish, and you can't seem to get there. And that gets on my everlasting nerve.
Good. I would say, I'm going to say, I am saying
I love it.
that's also a story you're making up. That it's a good thing and a bad thing, and it's a strength and a weak. It just is. And you made up a whole story about it, made yourself wrong about it. And then all of a sudden now he's wrong. for.
Well, I'm not making him wrong now. I'm talking about over years.
Yes,
I had
but-
to see a different perspective in order for me to be at peace, not just with his
Yeah,
strength.
you had to
but-
make up a different story about it. You were making one story up about it, and you've changed the story.
But I argue that that's exactly what we have to do. We have to have some kind of narrative that transitions
Yes.
us through. And so
Yes.
I had to transition myself through, or we
Yes.
would not be married.
Yes.
Because that got on my very last nerve.
Yes.
Until I saw not just the benefits of it, like I saw the benefits of him being that person. I'm like, whoa, where would I be without that? That would not be cool. I need that in my life.
Yes.
So it's a strength. A strength.
You made it. You made a new narrative, and you recreated him in your world.
Yes.
You recreated him.
I beheld him. And
Yes.
that was a book I wrote. It's called Becoming One. But anyway, one of the B's in it was beholding the strength, not just the potential. Sometimes you marry potential and their potential never comes to pass. No, you have to look at the reality and beholding that strength and seeing how good it is
Yes.
versus it making me crazy.
Well, on the marriage thing, we find the partner that actually will reflect exactly what we need to heal within ourselves. And when that union comes together, that's a real union. There's actually no one else that can do that for you, because they're going to reflect exactly what it is that you require to be able to heal that. Now, where marriages go off the rails, because the opposite's true for them. So you're going to trigger everything in them that needs to be healed, that they require to be healed. They're going to trigger in you everything that's required in you.
If you want to be healed.
If you want to be healed. So what happens is we can scrape and pick at those scabs, or we can heal them. And being that for our partner, our sacred union that you've come into is so that you can heal each other. And if you come into it in that way, other than looking at it like they're just being mean, and they know
they're being controlling.
That they know that triggers me, and they just do it anyway. You know, all of that. Or you can look at, wow, that's a wound inside of my partner that I can hold sacred, because we are a sacred union. That is a sacred wound that only I on this planet can heal. And then if you take it from that perspective of, wow, that's a big responsibility that agreement that I have, I've come into, that I'm going to be beholden to that person and actually, you know, trust in myself, trust in each other, trust in our union, that I'm going to take that so sacredly, and so that it's such a big deal to that responsibility. That's the word I was looking for. The responsibility of being in action, and I'm going to help heal this in that person, and then knowing that they're going to help heal me in the places that's required for me to heal. It's very, very powerful when you look at it from you make up that story, and you make up that reframe your situation in that way. It's super powerful, and it's something that puts you in the next level.
Oh, it does. And I remember early on that, you know, I had not, I'd been married once when I was young, and then we married 12 years later after being single for, you know, that long time, and just learning independence. And I come off of a lot of trauma in my life, and so getting married, and I honestly, I do see marriage as sacred. I do see marriage as it's different, but at the same time, I also see, as we relate as human beings, that you can give the same honor to a friend or what have you. And so, but in the beginning, I mean, I used to go weep my guts out. I would go hide behind our photography backdrops, and I would just weep and weep. And for me, I'm just interceding and praying and asking God for help for me. And then, you know, I just remember God just really showing me, you know, these are his strengths. And there are times when I would ask him questions right when he got home from work. At the time, I wasn't actively in a career. And I'd ask him something, say at 9:30, oh, by the way, I'm having this issue with this computer or whatever. So what did he want to do? Because he wants to help. He'd be up till 4 o'clock in the morning helping me with this problem. He didn't talk with me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that as, well, wait a minute. I just wanted to have time having a discussion. He didn't see that. He saw, what do I do to fix the problem? Because that's how he's made, right? So I didn't get my needs met in that way because he just wants to help. So what my point is this. When I saw, oh, he is helping. His motive is to help. It's not because he doesn't want to spend time with me. That's not it. He's focused on, how can I improve this situation? How can I relieve stress from my wife? How can I help her in a way that nobody else can help her? Well, I can fix the problem. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that was his motive, that's what changed it for me. Oh, his motive is this. It isn't what I think. Mm-hmm. It's not the negative. And it just released me from all sorts of, plus I stopped asking him things at 9:00 at night. That was just dumb. But who knew?
Well, and it can be said another way. Learning each other's love language. What is your love language? Are you? It sounds like possibly Craig's love language is being of service.
Yes.
And so when you have some of that, being of service is their love language, but then the person wants somebody, their partner is, I need you to say it to me. That can be a big mismatch if you don't understand each other's love language, and you're saying things to him, and he is doing things for you, and you're going right past each other and not understanding love language. There's lots of good resources online about taking a test to see what your love language is, and then getting to a place where you can ask for, I need you to say it to me. Instead of, I require you to say the words instead of just do the things. And what do you mean you don't know I love you? I do this, and this, and this. I don't care if you do this, and this. I just need you to say it. I need you to say I love you. And that would land for
That's right.
me.
Or I need time.
Yes.
Can I just have 30 minutes of you just listening to me process my day? Because I need a safe place to verbalize.
Yes.
And he has gotten so wonderful.
Yes.
I'm like, thank you.
But being able to say that, I require this to feel loved. And you require this to show love. And once you get that understanding for each other, then it can really be a powerful thing in a relationship. But going back to the mirror, it's not just people that mirror. Our universe mirrors back to us. You'll hear people, the same thing keeps happening to me. I have the same recurrent thing. People are just mean to me, like you were talking about in your world, because you're oscillating at that frequency. That's the radio station you are playing. And then you get really mad because you are playing smooth jazz, and smooth jazz is all you're hearing back to you, or heavy metal, or whatever metaphor you want to use. The point of this entire conversation is you are creating it, whether you want to hear that or not, or you want to get mad at me about it or not. That is the world we live in. You are creating.
Go to transformyouraemotions.com and complain. I'm kidding.
No, absolutely. Let's have that conversation, because I'm okay with it, because it also is stirring in you something that puts you in action. Yes, ma'am. Let's do that. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes, that's amazing, because I know that the things that irritate me or stir something up in me is a big juicy lesson. And there's always in every interaction with someone, there's a lesson there's a teacher and a student, and sometimes it's simultaneously happening. So when something is schooling me, teaching me something, and sometimes I didn't know I was showing up to school that day. I'm always showing up for school. But some days you forgot that you agreed that
sometimes you missed the lesson.
Yeah, this is school day. Oh yeah, I thought this was the weekend. No, this is school day today. Be grateful and show yourself compassion and grace for the lesson, And sometimes you don't notice it's a lesson for a minute, a month, a year, decades. But the lesson's there if you're willing to honor it as a lesson. And you are also teaching someone. So some days, some little something can happen. Earlier, we just had somebody, while we're shooting the show, just walk in, and it's the delivery person for Amazon. And she's kind of meekly comes in, but have a great day, have a beautiful day today. And she looked like, wow, I would imagine that woman spends a greater part of her day being invisible. And for that 1 second, we saw her. And did you notice that? Like it was like a thing for her. Like, oh, wow. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Like not being seen. And being able to see someone and actually see them as the human being they are, and her being of service to us. It's a beautiful thing that I can order something on Friday and it shows up the very next day, and I didn't have to do anything but click 3 buttons on
That's true.
But the amount of energy and process that had to happen for me to click a button on a digital screen, and then a real human being walks in and brings this thing into our lives is a huge blessing. And we tend to forget that there's people inside of that process.
That's true.
And there's many times invisible people. They're invisible to us, but we just got to see her and have her be seen in that whole process. It was pretty cool, actually.
It was really beautiful. I wanted to have more conversation, but not the day. And so let's go back to the mirror. So we've talked before about looking ourselves in the mirror and how the reflection part. What maybe looking yourself in the mirror and seeing yourself and bringing yourself out of being invisible. Yes. Maybe you feel invisible. Maybe you think of yourself as invisible. Maybe you're avoiding life on purpose because you want to be invisible, because that's the program you're stuck on. You're stuck on, I'm invisible, I'm avoiding me at all costs. But then you still have the complaint. How come nobody cares? How come nobody knows? When actually you've created the scenario for you to be invisible. So how do you come out of the shadow of your own shadow and come in to the light? I know we are already in the light. I know that. But how do we, in practical ways, become visible and see ourselves and love ourselves and all those things?
Well, I think awareness is the first thing. You cannot change anything, or you cannot transform anything until you're actually aware that there's a thing. So how do you transform a thing that you don't know is a thing?
That's true.
So let's work on let's talk about or have you look at awareness. Like, bring it into your awareness that where are you doing that all day? Or when you get it, just be aware today, just today and tomorrow, of what is bugging you about your external world. Like, you trip over something and the kids leave their toys out constantly, and you've told them 1,000,000 times. Where are you causing the matter that your kids leave their toys out? Because you are constantly having to trip over things. Where in your world are you creating stumbling blocks? All in your world. Because I can guarantee you the little microcosm of your world is the macrocosm of your world. And said another way is the little things in your life. I would guarantee you I could find a bigger version of that everywhere in your life. Because how we do one thing in our life is how we do everything in our lives. So when you're irritated at your child that their toys are in the living room and you're tripping over them, where are you creating obstacles? Everywhere in your life. And that's just one way that the universe is reflecting back to you all the obstacles in your life.
I just saw an obstacle in my life. I'll just be transparent. I have a crack in my window of my car that I drive almost daily. The crack is this much of the window. And I literally thought to myself, when you were talking, I thought to myself, where is it that I believe I should keep having, why am I reinforcing a cracked vision.
Mm.
That's my thought process. So where am I? Why do I not call the glass people? Why am I sabotaging? Why am I reinforcing not getting that done? Like Craig would get it done tomorrow, but he's like, you do it, it's your car. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. They're both our cars. That's another time. But the point is that he's got a lot on his plate too, so I should be able to take care of that. And I haven't. And so I've been sitting here pondering, wow, cracked vision. Where do I want to have a cracked vision? Why don't I want clarity in my life?
Mm.
Why do I want to not move forward? Why do I not want a new glass? Why don't I want new vision? So that's my own world. I'm creating that world.
Can I just say,
Please do.
In the speaking of why do I want?
Wow.
Why do I want? Why do I want? Wanting in the world of sacred language and how we create with our words.
Mm-hmm.
Our words literally are made flesh, are made matter. So wanting is in the world of I don't have it. So it's in the world of lack.
Ooh.
So I want it.
So I'm saying I don't have vision.
You right, and I don't have. So
When I do.
So I'm
Oh, wow.
I'm saying choose. I choose this.
I choose. Okay,
Clarity.
so take me through the exercise. You choose whatever's going on your whatever came to your mind. You find it, and
yes,
then she's gonna walk us through new vision.
I choose to have clarity.
I choose
clarity. Not to have. I cancel clarity. I choose clarity.
I choose clarity.
I choose vision. I choose to see.
I choose my own vision.
Yes.
I choose the capabilities and the abilities that come with vision. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe
what do you
we
choose?
avoid vision because we know responsibility lies inside of it to fulfill that vision, and you just don't know what's going to happen.
What juicy payoff are you getting by not having that? Because we only do things. This might rile some folks up.
Yeah.
But we only do things whether there's a payoff. So if
payoff good or bad?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's a payoff. It's a big juicy payoff.
What are we choosing?
So I see clients a lot that come in here and they claim they want to be healed and they want wellness in their life. And then as we talk further, it's very clear to me that they're very, very connected and identify with their illness. If they are unwilling to give up their illness, because there's a big juicy payoff in being ill. And people, that sounds cold. That sounds mean. That sounds awful. Just hear me out.
Takes away your disability check when you get well.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're right. I would argue in those people. I am arguing. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I say that you, in those cases, those clients have a big juicy payoff of not having to be responsible. If you're too sick to go to work, then you don't have to go to work. And then somebody else has to come and take care of you and take care of your finances and take care of doing the things it requires to get up and be able to earn money to pay the bills. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to, people let you off the hook when you're, and I can tell you from personal experience, and we've in other shows talked about my leg and the issues I had at the lowest point of my life. It became a place where I didn't have to do anything, and I could get out of doing stuff. Well, my leg hurts, so I don't want it. I just don't want it, and my leg hurts. And my
you
my
put
husband,
yourself into shutdown.
Yes, but there was a juicy payoff in it, and I knew it. Like I couldn't unsee that.
So they served you.
That absolutely served me. So then I noticed at some point, wow, like hold the phone, sister. What you were doing is creating a world where your pain and your inability and to walk and move forward is now you're actually using that to your advantage.
Yeah, you're catering to
I'm
your own
catering to
illness
my
so that you
illness.
can remain ill.
Yes.
And continue to be waited
Yes.
on and taken care
Yes.
of.
Yes.
So that,
I don't have to be responsible for my life. I don't have to
Wow.
move forward. I can just stay here in this wallowing morass of pain and despair.
because they love her enough to take care of
They
her.
did, and my family did. And finally, one day I looked at my husband and I said, I know what I'm doing. Help me. I know what I'm doing. Help me. And he did.
Did he know what you meant by that?
Yeah, he did. Because we are in tuned enough. He knew.
Yeah.
And he immediately stopped. It's like the addict.
He stopped helping?
He stopped helping in that way.
Wow.
And what looked like help is, no, get up off the couch. I'm not doing this anymore. You want supper? Get up and make you some supper. You know? And he actually was able to help me in a way of saying no.
He no longer enabled.
I love you. It's like an addict.
But when you came to it, though,
Yes.
if you had not seen it, that would have been cruel. You really had to come out of your own agreement first.
Awareness.
Yes.
Awareness. I had to have the awareness in
He
my...
couldn't give you that awareness.
No.
You had to have the awareness.
It does not help. It's just like an addict that's a heroin addict that you come and say, you have to stop doing drugs. If they're still in the throes of, I need my drugs, I don't care what you say.
Fall on deaf ears.
An addict does not stop doing drugs until they decide to stop doing drugs.
It's true.
And not a second before. We can have,
Oh, that could be mourning. It could be
Yes.
moving in the morning.
All
it
of
could
it.
be remaining sad, even to the extent of
Yes.
the death of a loved one
Yes.
that captured you. And now you have to choose. You want to
Yes.
get up and go
Yes.
onward.
Yes. So
Wow.
become aware
Wow.
and then choose your life. What choices are you going to make
So
today
good.
that empowers you in your life to have the awesome, amazing, creative life that you choose?
That's right.
Because you are choosing your life. If you don't like
right.
it, make a different choice.
You have a future. We just want to say you have a future. Look yourself in the mirror today. Decide today you're going to live.
Yes.
And we want to hear from you at transformyouremotions.com. We want to hear all about it. We bless you and thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Kami Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.